Hello and welcome. This is a podcast specifically aimed at answering the big existential questions, along with the mundane and minor questions that dictate our day to day routines. I do apologize if you hear what sounds like a warthog in the background. It's my French bulldog. Um, I figured why not? He could be an addition to the show. Um, I'm not going to ask for any subscribers or to push the like buttons or anything like that. I notice um, a lot of channels kind of start off with the request for such things, but I find that to be pretty ballsy. Um, that's entirely up to you. It's your discretion. If you enjoy what you hear or you find it to be mentally challenging, um, or I should say mentally stimulating, then go ahead, like the like button or subscribe, whichever you choose to do. Or if you're just stopping by, that's okay too. Today I want to talk about why women cheat and why they're more prone to cheating on the millennial male than any males of the past. Um, First and foremost, let me take a quick sip of my coffee here. I've been drinking it black lately. I've been skipping the sugar. I've been stuck on the doing the paleo diet, and it's been working wonderfully for me. Um, I've noticed a lot more energy, um, more clarity, uh, more clear mentally, and I still sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but still, that's another bad habit I'm trying to break. So baby steps, right? But no, I've been drinking my coffee black. I feel like an old man now. Because I feel like those are the only individuals who drink black coffee. I might just add a little bit of honey to it, but that's about it. You know what? Might make the next podcast specifically about the paleo diet because, um, like I said, it's been great. It's been wonderful, and I've been feeling a lot better. But anyways, not here nor there. I'm going to move into today's topic. I don't want to stray too far away. Um, Again, why women cheat, what age they're more prone to cheat, and to figure out what's going on and why I feel specifically, again, my opinion, is why the modern woman is more likely to cheat now than ever before, especially on the millennial male. So, kind of starting from in evolutionary terms and going back as far as our DNA can reach, from the perspective of evolutionary science, men and women are driven to have sex by the primal need to reproduce. Not a shocker to most of us, right? Science 101. But what that means, it would make sense that the age of a woman is most likely to cheat at 45, um, as this is lower than a man's. The interpretation being that a woman reaches peak infidelity when her body realizes it's her last chance to have a child. So you know, the classic picture of the cougar chasing the cub isn't too far fetched. I don't think, because think about it. And actually, I think I forgot exactly. And again, I'm not a scientist here, but I think late 30s to or even somewhere in the early 30s to the late 40s, I believe, is a woman's sexual peak. And her body actually produces more testosterone around that age, which is kind of ironic because that's when a man's testosterone starts to kind of wear off a little bit. But um, so naturally, she needs a mate who's more able to keep up with her sexually at that age. Me personally speaking, when I was in my earlier 20s, the most success I've had was with older women. And I loved that fact because they didn't really want any ties emotionally. They were kind of like on my page. It was just sex, um, which was great, Um, but no, I personally think that's when a woman's more prone to cheating. And in fact, there were some women who were in relationships around that age that I've gotten with. I'm not proud to say that, but it just happened. Um, and it was because of the fact that they were in dead relationships, lack of attention. All of these emotional aspects are really key to why a woman really cheats, aside from the physical and hormonal changes. But no, I mean that's when I found that women were more prone to cheat. They were more promiscuous. Now, maybe later on in age is what scientists say that a woman is more prone to cheating. I mean, you would think around that age, a woman's life is pretty dull, anyways, right? I mean, they probably have kids. Their kids are probably fairly old in age at that point, and their relationships with whoever they've been with for years is dead romantically, boring. The sex is predictable. So obviously, I mean, hormones aside, I mean, just lifestyle and being caught up in this corporate type marriage structure, it's dry, it's boring, and that's when they start looking at the pool boy, Ramon, with his shirt off and a nice tan, and they're thinking, why not? And not to mention that the act of cheating itself is exciting. You know what I mean? So it could even just be a matter of excitement and bringing flavor into someone's life. But now more than ever, women are cheating. Um, I think especially with the when it comes to the millennial male, and the reason I think that, and kind of just going over some of the studies I've seen personally, millennial men as a whole have gotten soft. I mean, that's just evident. If you were compare our current generation with past generations, I mean, clearly the masculinity and modern civilization has just hit a sharp decline. The technical skills and the staunch can-do attitudes that characterize the manly generations of our past, have largely been snuffed out. I mean, cast aside as society progressed and gender lines especially have become increasingly blurred. Um, so it's almost as if masculinity to all intents and purposes has lost its edge. Not to mention that this generation is a generation raised by women. I mean, think of how many males have disappeared, um, in the recent decades in comparison to years ago. I mean, it's hard to find any real structured family today. Not to mention that a lot of women have daddy issues because of that. I mean, the lack of male, support and the lack of male, um, role modeling or positioning within the family is mostly vacant on a large scale throughout the United States, and I think that's why women are also playing such a more of a power role in the United States than ever before because um, right now we're a generation raised by women. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, a lot of the link between the man-child syndrome is there more than ever too. A lot of boyfriends living off their girlfriends or using their girlfriends, or it's because they never had a father. The only raising that they knew was through women, and they've carried that into the relationships, which is absolutely uh, demoralizing to any woman. It's this codependent attitude, which is incredibly harmful to a relationship. But moving forward, and I'm not saying that there's not any happily married people out there. I'm sure that there is, but it's dwindling down in record numbers. I can't even tell you the last time I've met a happy married couple. I couldn't tell you the last time that I saw it. Just through friends and through coworkers and things of that nature. I almost want to debate uh, being in a relationship altogether. I mean, maybe it's best that men and women take separate roads. Maybe we finally just call it quits. I mean, what's the point of moving forward? I mean, it eventually just turns into work anyways. I mean, where it's dry and it's you know what I mean. It's not fun anymore. It's not romantic anymore. The things that you loved about that person are now the things that you hate about that person. I mean, all of these things or things that make us want to cheat. They make us want to find something new. But my question is, why is that wrong? Why is it wrong to want something new? Maybe we should just be a generation of swingers, and be more open with each other, and maybe be in open relationships. I don't know. I don't know the answer. And just a guy drinking his black coffee with no sugar in it, no creamer. I mean, maybe my interpretation of coffee now is the same way that I see relationships: flavorless, bitter, it's dark. Um, and maybe it's time that we call it quits. Maybe it's time that we focus on ourselves. Maybe it's that time to take a break and just really explore internally and figure our own selves out. Because I think that's really hard when you add another person to the mix. It's incredibly hard. And when I speak like this to women I've dated or even friends, they look at me like a total narcissist, sociopathic narcissist, and I'm like, well, no, it's really a matter of individual perspective. I mean, am I totally wrong? I mean, look at the divorce rate. It's outrageous, and it's because everything gets dry, everything gets boring. You know what? I say quit your marriage, quit your relationship, and quit your job because your job's as boring as your relationship. Keep moving around, be nomadic, be wild, be crazy. Maybe that's the ultimate therapy in life. Um, but no, I mean that's just my rambling for the day. And you know what? Tell me what you think. Tell me. I mean, obviously, if a woman's listening, I mean, she might have a little bit more insight than I would. Go ahead and write something down, and let's figure it out. I don't know, but I guess we'll leave it there. I don't like talking too long. I get bored, and go ahead and tell me what you think. If there's any questions, let's figure them out.